Welcome back everyone, and what do you know, the update's finally here. It's been a long time, but I think it was worth the wait. Anyway, as of recording this, you can see it's still day 3, and I'm just quickly gonna go over the things that were added, and add a few of my own opinions on them, because I'm very certain most of you have already seen what's going to be added tomorrow. So, yeah. So first, the new SFM animation. I have to say, just like the expiration date, I'm very happy with it. It was very entertaining. And so the first thing that was leaked on, about the update were the maps. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited from these previews. So we have King of the Hill, Attack Defend, Payload Race, Payload, and another King of the Hill map. Personally, I'm quite excited for Moss Rock, because I'm just a big fan of Attack Defend maps. And yeah, the new taunts as well. Probably my favorite one would be the Yeti Punch, but I'm also looking forward to the Dueling Banjo. I can already see myself in a sentry nest with 6 other engineers on Dust Bowl, just playing it. I'm sure all of you can imagine such madness. So, going forward on day 2, here we have more about the campaigns and whatnot. Well, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Yeah, I will buy the campaign pass because I'm quite interested in what I'm gonna get. And I'm also happy they removed the whole reskin thing and just replaced it with, what's it called? War paints, yeah. And not only that, you can also apply them to a bunch of, a lot more weapons. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Also more new cosmetics. Not really, can't say there's much to say here. And finally, on day 3, that's when the new weapons were leaked. And I have to say I'm quite excited as a Pyro main, because all of these weapons offer such a... I can only imagine for now, but it would seem like there'll be a lot more playstyles for the Pyro. So we have the Dragon's Fury, which is a single shot flamethrower. We have the Thermal Thruster. So it fires a short duration blast and deals 3 times falling damage to anyone you land on. The Gaspasser, flammable material, then ignites into Afterburn if enemies take damage, even enemy Pyros. The Hot Hand, gain a speed boost when you hit an enemy player, for a -20 damage penalty. And then you have a bunch of flamethrower fixes, which everyone was waiting for, and the Heavy gets a banana. So let's go over the weapons quickly. First of all, the Thermal Thruster. I can already see how many people are gonna combine this with the Dragon's Fury. It's gonna be the ultimate dragon loadout. As if flying was not enough, you can just shoot fireballs now. Secondly, the Gaspasser. This was actually, quite a popular idea in the community, but I never actually imagined Valve would add something similar to it. So this is pretty exciting, especially that now you can ignite other Pyros. And the Hot Hand, well, that's basically the disciplinary action. But, you hit enemies, not teammates. And of course, the flamethrower improvements. Yeah, the fact that the Afterburn is now affected by your actual distance from your target, it means there's no more run and hide. And a lot of Pyros were just using it to ignite someone and then retreat, and then the person ignited just dies because the fire lasts like 30 seconds, whatever. It's really annoying, so I'm really glad they nerfed that. And especially how they fixed the air blast. Like, thank you. This is gonna be a new era for playing the Pyro. And when it comes to the banana, I know heavy was not the primary focus here, but I'm honestly not really happy with, you know, the gimmick it provides, because it's basic. We already have it. The sandwich heals 300 health and recharges for 30 seconds. The locus bar does that for 100 health and recharges in 10 seconds. And now we have an item that replenishes 150 health and recharges in 15 seconds. So like, what's the point? Do we really need it? Well, I can already see someone making dick jokes. Like, this banana is probably a metaphor for fuck the heavy, but you know, that's just my opinion. Let's keep going. And of course, the new Pyroton. I can already see a lot of use for this. Well, well, that's basically it for my, you know, my comments on the whole update. Once it's actually downloadable tomorrow morning, then we'll have to see how it truly feels to experience it. So until then, alright, welcome back everyone. It's currently 9 hours before the last recording, and I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't shipped the update out yet. But on the bright side, we can see all the changes they're proposing, and I can't say I'm too happy with them, with most of them at least. Like, some of them are good, but I can't say that for a lot of these changes. Like, all of these bug fixes are good and whatnot. Especially the bug where you could see multiple weapons at the same time. I know that was a problem for a long time. Also, these new additions to parties, that sounds pretty nifty. I'm not too sure about this panic attack change. Like, I'm just not sure if this will be overpowered or still useless. We'll just have to see how it's used in the game. Although the reserve shooter change is actually really surprising. I don't use the weapon, but I know how reliable it is, so to see it get completely destroyed, I'm quite surprised. Now, moving on to the Ambassador. This is just stupid. So, it doesn't really encourage skill at all. If you're far away and you hit someone, you're punished for it. That's really stupid to me. The Dead Ringer, well, I can sort of get behind this change, but I still think the current state of the Dead Ringer is just fine. It's annoying, but not imbalanced. I can understand the changes behind the Your Eternal Reward, because yeah, that weapon was barely used. The only people who use it are just the best of spy mains from what I've seen. Now, the Sandman, this is really, again, just stupid to me. Like, why remove the max stun? That's what made the weapon so fun to use, and just wait until we get to the guillotine changes. Like, the ball regeneration reduced, the increased damage, whatever, it really doesn't compensate for the loss of the stun feature. Now, when it comes to the bonk, I don't know what to say, really. Not because I'm shocked, but more because I don't use the weapons. But at the same time, these changes just seem really unnecessary in my opinion. But yeah. Pretty Boy's pocket pistol, fair enough, I guess. Cola, I'd say it's balanced. I mean, it was balanced before. Well, not really. It was, at times, really annoying, especially because it can one-shot medics. But yeah, this doesn't seem like a major change in my opinion. The atomizer, I'd say everything's decent here. Now here's the interesting part. Removed crit versus stunned players and mini crits at long range. So what's the purpose of the weapon? It doesn't even have any anymore. Like, you can just make people bleed, that's all. But it's pointless. Like, I can understand the nature behind this, to remove the high damage outbursts. But what do we have now? Now it can't even kill a kunai spy, can it? Moving on to the base jumper, I'd say this is a nice change because I myself abused the weapon a lot. Mantroids, can't really say much to that. I'd also say the Cowmangler buff was needed. The Righteous Bison as well. Now, the Darwin's Danger Shield, I can understand why they would buff the weapon, or the secondary, the utility weapon, whatever. I can understand why they wanna buff it, but why against Pyros? I mean, the sniper is already a direct counter to the class. It doesn't make much sense to me. But you know, that's just my opinion. The Razorback, on the other hand, this overheal penalty seems a bit harsh. If it were minus 50% maybe, I could approve it, but this is just, yeah. Even the shield regeneration, it just doesn't help it. I mean, it doesn't help it for the loss of overheal. The Vira Saw now is basically a bad version of the Uber Saw, so have fun with that. The Crusaders crossbow, I approve this change because it was needed. Because the weapon just reigns supreme on every other primary for the medic. So, good on that. I can't say much about the heavy because I almost never play the class. So I'm just gonna comment on the few things that I actually use sufficiently. For example, this, well, there's only so many changes, and the Fists of Steel are the only thing I use here. So 40% overheal reduction and healing rate penalty. Again, really stupid. This is completely unnecessary. And I know this is not a valid argument, because we should not focus on changes based on how many cheaters there are in the game, but this weapon was, I'd say, a primary tool against cheaters, especially in competitive. Just pair yourself up with a vaccinator medic, especially in competitive where there's only 6 people in every team, and you can avoid those instant headshots. Now again, this same strat can be used against normal players and on pubs. But on pubs, it's a lot more easier to break this combo, because the Fists of Steel are very vulnerable to melee damage, and the Vaccinator, it can't protect you from melee damage. It can only protect you from one type of damage, so the medic can also easily die. And now about the banana that was added. Well, yesterday I said it was 150 health for 15 seconds. I was wrong. Instead, it's 200 health for 10 seconds. Even though this is technically not the same as the Locus bar, since that thing can overheal you, I still don't think this is a very original concept. Not original enough to be used, really. What I mean is, it really comes down to, do you prefer to be eating chocolate or a banana? Now, the way the Rescue Ranger was nerfed is actually really good. I'm a fan of this, because we all know how powerful these things are. So, having them use metal is a pretty good thing. The sword, which I'm not even gonna attempt pronouncing, I'm kind of glad they got it back to the original design. And now let's talk about the new pyro weapons. There's not really much to say here because I haven't seen these weapons in action, so all of these statistics are just very vague to me. But at the very least, we can see how these weapons function. So the Dragon's Fury uses a shared pressure tank for primary fire and alt fire, launches a fast-moving, limited-range projectile that deals 25 damage and briefly ignites enemies. So yeah, fireballs, just like I mentioned yesterday. The Thermal Thruster fires a short-duration blast that launches the pyro into the direction they're aiming, and deals 3 times falling damage to anyone you land on. So, yeah, I can very well imagine a high tower server full of these pyros. Looking forward to it. Next up, the Gaspasser. Not much to say here, we've commented everything yesterday. Same for the slap attack. Well, I forgot to mention, every successful slap is announced in the kill feed. So it's not just the disciplinary action that smacks enemies instead of teammates. It's also the what was it called? That fish thing. The holy mackerel, yeah. The flamethrower changes and the changes to air blast and all that. Same as yesterday. There's also the new Afterburn change. So now you take 8 damage per second instead of 6. So this of course required them to kind of nerf the Afterburn length of the flare gun, but the damage output in the end is the same, so there's not much change to that. And instead of direct fire to cause medics healing to be interrupted, this is now done by Afterburn, which I'd say it's a bigger concern than direct fire, because direct fire can last, what, a few seconds? Not more than 4, honestly. If it lasts more than 4, you're practically dead anyway. But Afterburn, on the other hand, it's just extended suffering, to say the least. And that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little hypnosis on this. So tell me, what do you think about the update and all the changes? I'm personally really looking forward to recording some gameplay of this as well tomorrow. And I also hope it's not gonna be 20 minutes long. I was not planning to extend this for so long, but oh well. I was never the type to predict things correctly. So, until then,